Hi, today we have a story about how his wife left the author while he was taking care of his dying father, but when, according to the will, he became a millionaire, she returned, humiliated, asking for forgiveness. I am 36 years old. I have been married for 8 years. We have 2 children. I am also the only son of my sick father. My father has been suffering from kidney problems for many years. But in the last 2 to 3 years his condition has deteriorated, and now he has to go through dialysis twice a week. This is a process of artificially extracting food from the body and excess fluid from the body. He used to go to this procedure himself, but over the past year he often asked me to accompany him. Every day he becomes weaker. I set a schedule for myself to take my father to dialysis, because I don't want to leave him alone in this condition. He needs to go through dialysis twice a week. So I chose Saturday and Wednesday. Saturday is my day off, so this is not a problem. On Wednesday, I agreed with my boss to leave early and then compensate for the remaining hours, working in the evening after returning home from dialysis. I have been working in this company for 10 years, and my boss considers me a hardworking and loyal employee, so providing such a special permission was not a problem for him. But the problem was at home with my wife Al. She is 34. When she found out that I would take my father to dialysis twice a week, she was upset. She didn't like it when I took him out from time to time, but she never expressed her discontent directly. Now, when I took full responsibility for myself, she did not hold back. She said that there was no point in wasting my time on my father, because no matter what I do, he will never be satisfied with me. For context, my father owned a trading business, was quite wealthy, and had a decent fortune. He wanted me to continue his business, but I was interested in another area. I wanted to study technology. I was interested in programming. So after school, when my father wanted me to go to some business courses or management courses, I chose to study as a programmer. He did not mind until I agreed to join his company after graduation. However, after receiving my diploma, I started working in a well-known IT company. My father was dissatisfied with the fact that instead of continuing his legacy, I was working for someone else. He constantly asked me to join his business, and I continued to postpone the decision of this issue for a long time. After my marriage, my father asked me for the last time if I wanted to join the business, and I said no. My father came in anger and said that he would give his fortune for charity, and I would not get a penny. I still did not change my decision, because I was already making good money then. At the age of 29, I bought a car and my own house. I was sure that I could lead a decent life even without his fortune, so I told him that I did not need his money and could take care of myself. Since then, our relationship has deteriorated. 5 years ago, my mother died of a heart attack. This seriously affected my father. After all, I left home at the age of 17 to enter the university. Then I found a job and began to live on my own. My father's only companion was my mother, and her death was the hardest blow for him. After that, our relationship began to improve. I began to visit him often and brought my children to play with him. In the end, he left the department and handed over his company to the management of the trust fund. My wife, Al, was never close to my parents. While my mother was alive, Al avoided visiting my parents, saying that her blood interferes too much in our lives and that they do not get along with each other. When my father announced that he would exclude me from the will, Al began to openly criticize my parents for their cruelty and anger. I insisted that she did not interfere in my relationship with my parents, but she constantly did this, claiming that such a mean step would affect our future, especially the future of our children. I assured her that our future and the future of our children are safe, regardless of my father's condition, but she did not want to listen. Now about the current situation. Al had a scandal when she found out that I would accompany my father on dialysis twice a week. At first, I tried to explain to her that my father has no one but me. He has long lost his parents, and although he has an older brother, he lives on the other side of the city and rarely visits him. My father became very lonely after my mother's death, and in this state I cannot leave him. But my wife refuses to understand this. Lately, she has been making my life unbearable. Every Saturday she comes up with some plans, either a housewarming, or a general cleaning, or a walk with the children, or something as insignificant as a trip for groceries. I explained to her that she can plan anything she wants but on Sundays, because on Saturdays I have to take my father to dialysis. However, she continues to make plans for Saturday, and then blames me for being late or missing something. I had to rush to my father to pick him up, then take him to the dialysis center, and after the procedure is over, take him back home and rush back to listen to her sarcastic remarks and whims. It's not just on Saturdays, she does the same on Wednesday evenings. I promised my boss that I would compensate for the remaining work late at night or the night after returning from dialysis. But she always has a plan on how to make me feel uncomfortable. She left to meet her family, her old friends, or to attend some random event, leaving the children for me. At this time, I had to prepare for the children, feed the younger one, and in between do the remaining work tasks, and this is after a stressful working day and visiting the dialysis center. Many times my father offered me to let him go to the center with the nurse, because he saw that I was always in a hurry and tense looking at the clock. After I left him at home, I did not wait a second and immediately rushed back. Even when I picked him up, I asked him to be ready and go outside before I arrived. My father has a nurse for a full working day, but I still feel guilty that I don't spend enough time with him. Her absence actually brings me peace. The day before yesterday, she sent me divorce papers. I expected this, but I didn't think it would happen so soon. I was shocked. But deep inside I felt joy and relief. I didn't call her. I just signed the papers and sent them back. To my surprise, she did not require care for the children, and this was the only point that really bothered me. But she clearly did not need children. At first I thought she had found someone else, and this thought hurt me. But then I realized that it doesn't matter anymore. I continued my life as it is. Every Saturday and Wednesday I took my father to dialysis. My work went as usual. I took care of the children, cooked for them, cleaned the house, and washed clothes. Although life was very difficult, I felt at peace. I did not have constant fights with my wife. A few months later, my father died. It was the hardest day of my life. I lost the most important person in my life. After his death, I went to the office of his lawyer. The lawyer gave me a sealed envelope. I asked what was inside, and he said it was a letter from my father. I took the envelope and went home. I put the children to bed and opened the letter. It said that he was proud of me, that he always watched me from afar and regretted his decision to give up on me. He wrote that he was very happy that I was with him in his last days. He wrote that I am a wonderful father and a wonderful son. He ended the letter by saying that his lawyer would explain everything else to me. The next day, I went to the lawyer again. He gave me the last will and testament of my father. It said that I was the sole owner of all his assets, including the business, property, and all his bank accounts. I was shocked. I never expected this. I returned home, and the next few days were filled with calls, meetings, and paperwork. I hired a babysitter for the children and returned to work. Then I found out that my wife found out about my father's death and about the inheritance. One fine morning she appeared at my house with her parents. They began to shout at me and accused me of stealing their grandchildren. She cried, begged, asked me to forgive her and take her back. She said that she was lost, that she was under the influence of her friends, and that she was ashamed. Her parents scolded me, saying that I ruined their daughter's life. I calmly told them that it was too late, that I had already signed the divorce papers, and that there was no turning back. They left, cursing and insulting me. Since then, she has tried several times to contact me, but I blocked her everywhere. Now I live with my children. I manage my father's business and work in my company as a part-time consultant. I spend a lot of time with my children and try to be the best father for them. My father always said that the truth will always come out. I now understand what he meant. He left this world knowing that I was with him, and he knew the truth about my wife. Her betrayal hurt me, but I feel peace and satisfaction knowing that he knew I was a good son. God grant him health and a good life. Write your opinion in the comments. Thank you for watching this video to the end. Watch our previous video. We will have a lot of similar stories, so be sure to subscribe to the channel.